So let's get it. All right. So today we're talking about why copywriters stay broke, and it's not what you think. I'm going to show you by the end of this video exactly why it's not your fault, first off, and second off, you're playing the wrong game long term. Good news, you have all the skills and everything you need to be successful, to hit your goals, but you are lacking the right vehicle to get you to where you want to go. And this is just a perspective shift that I want to give you today, and an identity change. So I've been a copywriter for 20 plus years now. I've written for some of the biggest names in the industry. I've helped build businesses that got acquired by publicly traded companies. We've generated over $100 million in online sales. I don't tell you this to brag. It's not because I'm super smart or super cool or super anything, but I've learned from my past that being a copywriter and going out into the marketplace and selling my skills is probably the most expensive thing that I ever did. Now, you may be thinking, well, how am I supposed to make money? What does that look like? Well, I'm going to share that with you. But there's a new identity and a new opportunity that gives you full freedom and allows you to take your skills, and instead of pointing them out into somebody else's business, you can point them into yourself. And that is called offer ownership. And if you're familiar with creating offers, and if you're a copywriter and you're watching this, you probably have an offer that you've created and launched. It's probably sitting in a document somewhere, playing with AI, getting everything organized. I know because I have 1,000 of them as well. They're getting cyber dust on them. You know and understand the concept of creating an offer, but something is stopping and blocking you. And that is why you're not hitting your revenue goals. That's why you're staying broke. So I'm going to show you how to break through. First, I want to talk about what it's about, the identity, and then I'll show you how to kind of break through that at a high level so you can make more money, have more freedom, and ultimately release yourself from this income ceiling. So I just want to share something really quickly with you. So this is me and my family from this past summer. Last 2 years ago, let's say 3 years ago, I was in a full swing of running an agency. I was the head copywriter. We were an e-commerce agency. I was writing all the ads, building out all the businesses, and I was chained to my desk. Like, I was working 100-hour weeks. Insanity. And what happened in December 22nd of 2022 is that I got a message that literally changed my entire life. My biggest client, they were an e-com brand. They sold like a golf toy, and we helped them do about $6 million in the first year. They were about $250,000 in revenue for my business. We had hired people. We were building the structures. We were doing all these things. And the message literally said, "You're done." And like our relationship was over like that. And it wasn't because we did something wrong or something bad. It's because they wanted to bring it in-house to make it more cost efficient for their business. That was it. We had done such a good job of cracking open their problem that they wanted to bring that inside their business. So they paid us to train their people and all these little things. And it's like, sweet, now I have to lay off all these people that I've hired. I have to go back to the marketplace, fighting for scraps to get clients and to rebuild the business. And it never fully recovered. And to be honest, I never fully recovered, because the idea that I could master a skill, apply that to somebody's business, make them over $6 million, and then have them just shut off our revenue overnight blew my mind. And the reason I have this picture up here is just last year, I took off 2 months, 2 full months in the summer. I drove from Prince Edward Island all the way to Canada. I did not work once. I still did some writing because I like to write, but I didn't deal with any clients. I didn't put out any fires. I didn't do any of that. And I made more money this year than I did then. How did I do it? Well, that's what I'll show you. I'll show you how I did it. But let's just look at the model first, okay? So at a high level, and I didn't spare any expense and high production value here. This is like the $1 million drawing board. But yeah, the value is here. Stick with me, I promise. Don't mind how great my doodles are. The value is going to be there for you. I absolutely promise. So let's get into it. I'll show you exactly what the problem is. So we have on one side, we have client first model. Let's just go client first. a little bit on the big side here. All right, we have the client first, and then let's go, we have offer first. And the big difference between these two is this is reliant on you. You are the center. This is all about you. You do the sales. You do the prospecting, the marketing, the traffic, the attention, and then you close the sale. And guess what? You also fulfill. And that sucks. Like this is based on your energy. And here's the thing about energy and time. And you may not be burnt out now. You may be at capacity and it feels busy and all these things and you're handling it well. But give it 5 years, give it 10 years. It will catch up with you because it's like a seesaw. You're going out to the market, you're doing all this promotion, you're getting a client, you get a client, you then fulfill on the client, and then you're going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Because in your mind, you're a copywriter and that's what you do, okay? Now, on the other side, we have, let's change the color, man. Let's make that green again. Let's go here. You have your offer on this side. There we go. Look at that. Great drawing. Perfect. You have your offer. So instead of the value being inside of you, like you're coming in, you're fixing and solving all the problems and like, you're Johnny on the spot and like, you're coming in and save the day. Now your offer does that heavy lifting and it does not have anything to do with you. You can sell as many of these offers as you want without it taking up any more time and energy inside of your business. That's a huge difference. So a copywriter goes in, solves the problem, sells their time. Even if you're the best copywriter in the world and you know all the headline secrets, you have the best body copy, you can write the leads, the VSL master, whatever it is, advertorial, blah, 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 blah. Like you are the guy or the goat, the gal, whatever you want to be, whoever you are the person that everybody needs and wants. Then you lack leverage in your life, in your business. So that's what copywriters have to deal with. And even if you do percentage deals, and even if you could do like licensing, and even if you could do all these things, it's still so reliant on you. Do you see that? That's like a huge bottleneck of that model. So that's the client first model. The offer first model, it's based on the offer. So your only constraint is the market. What's the size of the market? What's the TAM? What's the service, the SAM, the service addressable market? What is the SOM, the service obtainable market? What are these pieces? Once you have that, it's a math equation, right? Like you have a market of people that are interested and have a problem. Your offer solves that problem. And that's the model. It's based on the actual offer versus you being the value. The value is your offer. And being able to disconnect that from yourself is highly profitable. And you're going to make a ton of money. Does that make sense? Are you clocking? Good. So this, client first, I don't mind doing client work. It's just not scalable and you're going to hit a ceiling with it and it's going to be fully reliant on you. Versus an offer where your offer is coming in and scooping up all the traffic. Normally, and done right, it self-liquidates your ad spend. And then if you want to sell, because this isn't about don't do client work, this is about client work optional. And if somebody comes in on your low ticket, which doesn't really rely on you, then it feeds your high ticket. And you're waking up with a pool of people that want to give you money, you know? Because they've already bought your product, empowers proximity, so they know, trust, and like you. So now they want to give you cash. You have the opportunity. And this gives you the most powerful thing in your business, control. This gives you the ability to control your destiny because you're not just going to the market reliant on referrals, maybe a small email list, maybe a little social situation going on. Maybe you got a YouTube, maybe you got whatever that is, and that's your whole world. You're just a little speck of opportunity in this giant markets. There's so many billions and trillion-dollar markets that you can be involved in where scale it blows your mind. And then a lot of people think like they got to go out and create this new thing. No, you could create an offer and go into a bloody market and just dominate, do a better job. Do you ever see these people walking around? They're like making $2-3 million a year, and they're absolutely stupid. Like they're not very smart people. I'm not saying they're bad, and good on them for making the money. I'm not jealous. I'm just saying like you're like this guy or this gal. Like how is she making this kind of money? It's because she is leveraging scale, right? You can't duplicate yourself, and even if you do try to use labor to get leverage in your business, it is very, very hard to get the ultimate people in your life and in your business that they can perform as well as you. You're lucky to get if they can perform 80% as well as you. So you're losing that. Now think about the rungs. 80%, 60%, 40%. Like as you're hiring people, it gets further and further away from the goal. Now, you could take your skills, create an offer, go to market. It is extremely valuable. It solves a very specific problem for a very specific group of people. Now it's just about that exponential growth. We can go to market with cold traffic, right? We're sending cold traffic in. They're coming in. And what's great about traffic is that it's everywhere. Facebook, YouTube, Google, you name it. Like people are actively looking for what it is that you're selling. You can put your offer there that is highly scalable on the front end, and this self-liquidates your situation, and then they come out on the back end nice and warm and more susceptible to buying your high-ticket thing. It's like going to the market, right? You're going to the market and you're usually going to warm traffic. You got referrals because nobody's going to give you 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 dollars if they don't know who you are. This process warms them up. They come in cold, meaning you have access to a massive market. They come in, they get warmed up, and they're ready to buy. Here, they're coming in warm. The problem is there's just not enough people. And I was just saying this to a client today. Like, if you could wake up to 10, 15, 20, 30 people every single day who already know, trust, and like you, they're already warmed up and excited to do business with you, how much easier would business be? That is the difference between being a copywriter, going in and applying this to other people's businesses, and an offer owner. Somebody who creates an offer, identifies an underserved market, creates an offer that gets them an outcome and a result, and then it gives you an opportunity to sell your stuff on the back end. And then we can go pay for traffic, our offer warms them up, and ultimately we can pitch and sell our high ticket thing. That's the difference between client first approach and the offer first approach. The biggest disconnect is here we're waiting. We're like, this is when you're like getting on your knees and praying and being like, this month I need 2 referrals, please. Like that's not a marketing strategy. That's not a traffic strategy. That's not a sales strategy. That's not a business strategy. That's just hope and faith. Nothing wrong with faith. You need it to grow and scale and build your business and be an entrepreneur. You need it, right? You need to believe in what you're doing. But if you don't combine that with a strategy to be able to take absolute strangers, warm them up, and give them an opportunity to give you high ticket opportunities on a daily basis, if you're not waking up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 20, 30 people wanting to learn more how you can implement your high ticket stuff with them, you're going to struggle and grow your business. This is how somebody who is not super skilled, they have less skills than you, definitely less talent than you, are going out and crushing it in the marketplace. It's not because they are fundamentally smarter or more talented or any of these things, or have a better offer or better ads or better, it's none of that. They have a better model. Like, that is it. Because you're limited by your clients. You're limited by what you can control. Have you ever written a great piece of copy and a client doesn't even run it? Or maybe they don't even have traffic people to send traffic to your offer? Like, you're only as good as the traffic people. So imagine you own that entire process, right? You owned all of this. Here, let's do a different color so we can see. So you owned all of this process. In the client first section, you know, to get clients for yourself, you're just reliant on referrals. So you don't really have any control there. Everything is reliant on you, so you don't have much time and places to go. And then when you apply this to your client's business, you're at the mercy of your client every single day. You know, oh, Facebook ads weren't working well, so we pull back our budget. This thing was happening, it started to rain, so we decided to do this. Like, you're at the whim of somebody else versus taking full control of your offer and making it happen. And what this has done for me is allows me to work with the people that I truly appreciate, identify a market who's underserved, build something of value that can't be replaced. You can't take my offer from me. You could copy it. You could try it. You could try to figure it out. And even that doesn't work because you're not me. And there's so much opportunity in the marketplace that even if every person on the planet had an offer, there would still be enough room for everybody. Because it's an infinite sum game. There's lots of room. And you're only limited by your market. And it becomes a math equation. How much are we getting traffic for? What's our conversion rate? What does that look like? What's our AOV? And then you're just playing the game of optimization of your offers. The problem is that and this is the identity situation. So let's go back here. Let's see if I can get, oh, whoa. I'm getting a little crazy with the drawing here. Okay, so let's go here. Oh, geez, did it again. Okay, let's go like this. Okay, so we have to start thinking and playing a different game, right? And it really comes down to this. You. Right now, you see yourself as a... Oh, cool. You see yourself as a copywriter. And I'm just going to put that in red. And there's nothing wrong with being a copywriter. And you're going to hit limits and, like, there's nothing wrong with being a copywriter. I'm not hating against being a copywriter. But if you feel like you're at capacity and you want to break through to an income ceiling, this is how you do it. And don't get me wrong, I love copywriting. It is like the most valuable skill on the planet. We are blessed. All right. Okay, let's go here. And then versus offer owner. This comes down to you and your perspective. And then so if you call yourself a copywriter, the market sees you as working for them. If you call yourself an offer owner, you are now working for yourself. And what it comes down to, the big real differentiator is the belief that you can make it work. Like, just think about it for a second. If you knew that you could not fail and that you would launch an offer and you would find success and you would find an evergreen market that is massive with huge opportunity that you could scale to like $10, $20, $30, $40, $50,000, $100,000 a month in traffic, which would be like, you know, 200, 300, 400 millions of dollars in revenue, and you knew you couldn't fail, would you not take that bet? Versus building this for somebody else, they're making all the money and you're getting a small percentage of that. So here is the real problem. risk. The question becomes, are you willing to bet on yourself? Do you have enough faith in you and your business and your skills that if you compiled that into an offer, you identified an underserved market, you compiled that into an offer, you created a low ticket funnel, you were able to build a back end that could support and give you all the profit you need, self-liquidate on the front end, profit on the back end, build a team to support you around that offer. If you believed you had those skills, why wouldn't you do it? And that's what I did. That was the big aha moment for me. So we lost that client. I went out to the marketplace and I'm like, I'm going to make all this money and I'm going to do my own offer. I'm so talented, so skilled. And when I did that, I built a bunch of offers that didn't really work well for me as a human being. I'm not going to talk about alignment in this video, but alignment's extremely important. I was out of alignment. And when that happens, you find ways to like self-sabotage and do all these other things. Anyways. But eventually I wisened up a little bit and I built something with a market that was underserved, a market that I really wanted to work with, a market that I knew intimately, that I knew I could help and I knew I could make a difference. In my business, everything changed. It went up and to the right. Right? That's it. That's the difference. That's the big change right there. Is going from copywriter to offer owner. Now, let's talk about risk for a second. I see risk as an opportunity, right? And it's limited. I was saying, like, if you knew you could get there and you couldn't fail, where is the risk, right? All you're doing is taking your skills and applying it inwards to your business, taking that, putting that into the marketplace, and you're basically just failing forward. They call it optimization in your business. If you already have clients and you already have a budget and you're not taking 10, 20, 30% of that and investing into your own offer, you are doing yourself a massive disservice. I'm not saying that you need to stop writing copy for other people. If it pays the bills and you enjoy it, great. But what I'm saying is that you're missing out and doing a disservice to the market based on false risk, because you can't lose if you find an underserved market. You can't lose if they have a massive problem that they're willing to pay to solve. It's just a matter of time. You got to put in the reps. So risk, the only risk is your time. The true cost is the money and the pain that you're causing the market by not going out and solving that. And when you start looking at offers and sales as a disservice or a service, you know, like, which camp do you want to fall in? Or do you want to be a disservice to your marketplace, to yourself, to your bank account, to your family, to your friends, to all these things, versus being of service? You're just going in there and helping people, tapping into their intention and helping them get to where they want to go. That is offer ownership. So if this is something that you're looking at, you can look at the link down in the description. People are like, oh, I don't have anything to sell. I totally have something to sell. I have an offer that I would love to sell you. If you're a copywriter who's already established, who feels like they're hitting an income ceiling and they want to see a better way to do it. And it really starts by disconnecting your value from who you are and putting it into an offer that does the heavy lifting for you. When you have that, you can go to market. The only risk in true loss, you will lose a little capital at the beginning because you need to invest in yourself. You need to invest in some ads, maybe some teams and some stuff there. But as long as you're willing to see it through and you truly are dedicated to serving a market that lights you up and makes you feel good, you can't lose. You just keep correcting, course correcting until you land on an offer that fits. You land on a traffic source that works, a message that works, a value prop that works, and then you scale that. Once you have that validation, which is really easy to do, and I'll make a video about that, then it's just about scaling and growing your business. Anyways, if you enjoyed this content, feel free to subscribe. And I'm going to be creating a video every single week and dropping some knowledge here. Like I said, I've been generating over $100 million in online sales. I've been doing this for a very long time. I'm 100% free from client work. which I do still take on clients, but it's optional for me. And I built a very simple structure and business for my life that supports me, which is in full alignment, so I can grow and scale and hit all my financial goals without pulling my hair out. Hopefully this video served you, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Bye.